What is up, Wholesale to Million family? We're back with another subscriber first. Obviously, we're not going to talk about their first wholesale deal, but we're going to talk about their most recent deal that they just closed for 65 G's. And you guys won't believe this. It only took them 2 hours of work. But no, you know what? I'm just going to get straight into it. And I'll let them introduce themselves. Let them tell you guys a little bit about their stories. Maybe tell the viewer how you guys got into wholesaling, and then we can talk about the deal, like exactly how you found the seller, the buyer, all of that.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Do you want to start off?
Yeah, so my name's Joel. I go by Joel's Got the Keys because I sell real estate.
And my name is Joe. I just go by Joe because that's my name. So that's what I go by.
Dude, before this, I was telling them, man, with the two name, you guys are gonna have. You like, I don't even know which one is Joe. Like, I can't even pronounce it right.
Let me tell you something though. It comes in handy because whenever we talk to our clients, they think they're talking to the same person the whole time. So
yeah.
Hey, maybe that is the secret.
Yeah.
So all my employees, right? All my girls should have the same name.
Yes,
right,
exactly.
The same one every time.
All right, so let's jump in a little background about you guys, and obviously, how do you guys come into, like, obviously this is a partnership, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I think his story is more interesting than mine. Anyways, I've been a real estate agent since I got my license December 2016. In 2019, I had so in 2018, I only closed 3 sales. 2019, I went to a new company. I learned how to sell things, and I ended up having like 20 clients that next year. So it was a massive growth for me. At the end of the year, I went to Spain. And when I was leaving my trip from Spain, I had this feeling come over me. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to be a real estate agent anymore. I'm just not really feeling this. Come back. I'm kind of depressed. I meet this person and they introduce me to wholesaling. And so this guy kind of takes me under his wing doing acquisitions. That didn't end up working very well because he only taught me just a little bit, but not enough to learn the whole business. So I went off and I created my own company called Sold Home Offer. And now I'm like a full-time wholesaler, and I barely even do the real estate agent thing anymore. I like wholesaling a lot better. That's my story.
Dude, okay. Now hold on.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. So, because I get a lot of people say, hey, Khang, I want to be an agent. I want to be a realtor. So I want you to kind of break it down. So you're an agent since 2018.
16.
Oh, 16.
Yeah.
So your first year, how many deals do you do your first year?
1.
You did 1.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much do you profit?
$5,000.
and then that 5K what? And then now you got to go pay. You got all kinds of fees, right?
Yeah, you got to pay your broker, which it's just a dumb business model in my opinion. If you're actually going to be an entrepreneur, it's not being an entrepreneur. You're working for someone else. Yeah, you got to pay fees to the National Association of Realtors, your local board. There's just a lot of fees. Yeah.
Okay, man. So just so people understand, man. So all the fees, because a lot of you guys got to understand this. There's a lot of fees involved, right? So when an agent told you, hey, I just sold a $10 million house, it doesn't mean they make $10 million, right? Yeah. So, 2.5% or 3% of that, whatever the amount is still a large amount, but then there's a bunch of fees involved as well.
Yeah. And then for me, honestly, the thing that I dislike about it the most is negotiating my commission with the seller. In wholesaling, I can make however much I want to make in the buyer and whatever price I negotiate with the seller, but they're not dictating my pay, nor do I have to pay a broker. So this, I'm completely in control, and I like that way better.
Bro, that is a really, really good point. That is a really, really good point. But okay, so quickly, man. So what are some fees that you have to pay off that $5,000 that you made?
I mean, I don't know. I guess you got to do marketing too with wholesaling, but you got to pay your marketing costs,
of course,
and you just got to pay the broker. And then there's a bunch of other fees they take out. Like there's a franchise fee, so you might have a split with the broker, but then there's like a 6% franchise fee. There's a E&O, which is errors and omissions. That's so if for some reason something goes sideways in the transaction, the broker gets sued. That basically just covers them. There's like a legal fee. Yeah, there's just a whole bunch of little fees that stack up.
You, like a lot of you guys don't understand, like when you get into business, you know, I mean, there's going to be a lot of costs. I mean, the nice thing about being an agent is obviously, you know, you get to work on your own time, right? You get to work on your own time. You get to work at your own pace, but also it could be a good thing and a bad thing. Because some people, you know, being able to work at home, they're not able to self-motivate themselves, right? But anyways, okay. So let's lead into your story, bro.
Yeah, so I grew up in a very traditional Egyptian family household. So a lot of what I grew up with is you're either going to be one of three things: something in the medical field, engineering, or you're going to be a lawyer. So growing up in that, I chose what I liked most at the time, which was medical. I went through undergrad, graduated with my chemistry degree, went to pharmacy school and became a pharmacist. And right out of school, I you know, even in my second year of school, I knew it wasn't going to be for me. And I always knew I wanted something that wasn't going to limit me and gave me the ability to grow in exponential. And me and Joel have been best friends for, I don't even know how many years now, 7, 8, 9 years, something like that.
Close to
10. And we had been living together at the time when he first figured out wholesaling. And we would talk about it. And he was like, hey, man, I think I want to do this one day where I can like kind of start up the business and this and that. And I was always, I was like, man, as soon as you know, let me know. And, you know, we'll hop on it. And he took the first step, you know, he took that initiative and started it, got it going. At the time, I was working actually in a medical device company because I wanted to do something that I could use my degree for, but not necessarily pharmacy. And I was working there at the time, kind of just making a little bit of money to help cover me for, you know, school debt. Obviously, you're coming out of school, you're in a crap ton of debt.
Yep. Hold on, dude. I want people to understand this. So how many years of college do you go to?
So minimum, you're doing 8 years if you stay. Yeah.
Okay. And then after that 8-year, man, how much do you start out with? Like, I guess, how much do you start making?
Right. So as a pharmacist, I mean, it's what's considered, you know, like a lucrative starting job. So you make somewhere between 115 to 130 starting.
Wait, 130 to 150 a year?
115 to 130. Right. So somewhere like topping off around 130 a year started.
115 to 130K a year so that's after you graduated.
After you graduated.
And
right.
and how much does it cost for you to get that degree?
The pharmacy degree alone is 50K of tuition a year. That's if you're not taking anything out for housing, which obviously I did. So
wait, dude, this just blew my mind. $50,000 a year?
Yep. Yeah, it's
dude. How can an average household? I mean, you know, like how can regular people that like my mom and dad my mom makes 25,000 a year. So, you know, I guess how can normal parents put you through college? Obviously, now you got, so 50K a year times 8 is how much, bro?
So 50 times 8 would be 400. Luckily, you know, for pharmacy school, it's 4 years. So that one you're doing 50 times 4, so 200. But obviously, when you're going through that program, you're not really working. You're studying pretty much full time, going to school full time. It's a lot to commit to. You know, you're learning a lot about the medical field. So I came out of school with like 250K worth of debt. And I'm like, man, if I'm going to make 100K, let's say, starting, and that caps out at whatever, you know, 160 to 200 a year, whatever that is, I'm going to be paying off my school debts forever, you know, because that's all pre-taxes, you know, and we live in California too on top of that. So all the interest rates are ridiculous, but whatever. So, you know, I always knew this wasn't going to be for me. I wanted to use something where I can use my people skills, be able to talk to people and kind of branch out my own business and be able to make that a real thing. So when Joel took that initiative, took that first step and, you know, started the company, I was working at that medical device company and I was there for maybe, I think 3 months, 4 months. And the only reason I was even working was because I was getting married at the time and I needed to make some level of income to, you know, stabilize our family from the beginning, just so we'd be able to live, be okay, make something. But about 3 months in, I was like, you know what, screw this. You're either going to dive in or you're going to keep your foot out of the water. You know what I mean? So I jumped in with Joel and we got the whole thing going and now we're here.
Boom. Well, first of all, man, I want to say, dude, congrats. But what, like, both of you guys' stories, man, great, great, great stories. And I'm glad that you guys are here now. But man, I mean, this whole thing, man, still just blew me away with the whole college, because people just don't understand. Like, listen, I don't, like, people think like I'm against college. I'm not against college. If you want to go to college because you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you want to be somebody with a degree, you do you, because we need doctor, we need lawyers, we need engineer for the world to go round. I understand that. But there are people that specifically think that I want to make a lot of money, but the only way I can do that is I got to go to college.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm here to tell you it's not the only way. You've been brainwashed to think that's the only way because the government wants your money. You're right. The government wants your money, man. Right. Listen, and people be like, people call people that sell courses and stuff. Now, listen, I'm not trying to pitch you guys any sell here, but people go, let's just say they pay for self-education, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 in self-education, right? Where you are unlimited. Like, you can make as much as you want, as little as you want. Okay. Like, to go to a mastermind, to go to a seminars, to pay for a mentors, or to get coaching or courses. And they complain. Well, you're a scam. You charge me for that. You're a scam. Dude, the only person that scams is you, because you probably want to get rich quick. You're thinking, if I get this course, if I hire this mentor, if I go to the seminars, I don't have to do anything. Dude, that's why. And you think like, oh, I'm going to make $1 million in 6 months. I'm going to be a millionaire in a year. Because you think like that, dude, you're the one who's scamming yourself. Because I don't care whatever coaching pro you're in, dude, you still have to do the push-up. You still have to put in a lot of work. But listen, man, some people willing to go to college, pay $50,000 a year, just for example, $50,000 a year, just so you can come out, just so you can make $130,000 a year. And you're saying, so if I pay $20,000, $10,000, and I can make unlimited, but that's a scam.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. Shit. Like the thing, like so when I drop out of high school, man, I knew I wasn't gonna call. I knew I wasn't good in school. I knew I didn't want to go to college. I hated school. I just hated school entirely. And obviously, just like you guys, Asian parents, they want me to be somebody, doctor, lawyers, engineer. Like, they want me to sit in an office space, do easy work, and make a boatload of money because, because our parents, they gone through the whole, working at a factory. So they don't want to see their kids, My mom's like, hey, I brought you all the way from Vietnam over here, not to see you go and just slave out and just be average person, right? And dude, I got two good friends that really good in school. They went to college, and guess what happened, man? They went and took on college debt. I started from zero. You guys got to understand, when you start from ground zero, if I make $10, I get to save, let's just say if I make $10, I get to save, let's just save half of that. I can save $5. But for you, you're starting at negative. You make $10, that $10, you have to pay all that $10 just to get out of that debt. But yeah. I started without any debt. Right. You know what I mean? So when I went and got a job for $8.50 an hour, I'm making $8.50 an hour. Right. I get a profit $4, but you don't. Because when you come out, that $130,000 that you make, even if you don't have to pay any taxes, that $130,000, you have to take it, and you got to pay off that $250,000 debt. So most people don't understand. Like, you're not starting from ground zero. You're starting at negative. And then it takes a long time for you to get out of that and to actually start profiting. But anyways, man, that can be a whole nother thing. Okay, now let's talk about your guys' first wholesale, or not your first one, but this one that you guys make 65 G's on, man. Break the whole entire process down for us.
Yeah. So I found the deal. What happened was I was out at the gym, and my parents called me and they said, hey, we just found this house. You should come and check it out. So I went, left the gym, got an acai bowl. That's what I like to eat. And I drove up.
I think that they should pay you for that, bro.
Yeah, right.
You should be able to go there and eat for free for a whole entire year.
Yeah, I need my Nectar sponsorship.
Yeah.
So I went to the house, and when I got there, I found out it was bank owned. We had just got the Deal Machine app, so I honestly, I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I don't know much about bank owned homes. I just didn't think I could wholesale it. Maybe I can. I don't know. So anyways, I ended up leaving the house, and I decided to drive for dollars in that neighborhood. And then I just found this house, and it looked pretty trashy, so I added it on Deal Machine. And then I plugged it into my dialer, skip traced it, of course, plugged it into my dialer, and called up the lady. I had her call her 8 times until I finally got a hold of her.
Joe.
Yeah.
I gotta do, dude. I gotta do a plug-in, bro. So for those of you, listen, if one of your source is driving for dollars, I highly suggest that you should check out Deal Machine. I'll leave the link for them right below. If you use my affiliate link, you get a 7 days free. I think you get a 14 days free trial with them, and also you get a $40 credit. Okay, so you get free cash, free trial to use the Deal Machine. And I know that some of the biggest player in the game use Deal Machines, or they have the employee go drive for dollars, but it just makes it so much easier. And you'll be able to plug in the address, pull up the proper information, how much they bought it for, right? How much they owe on the property, and all of that. So go check them out. But anyways, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so I forgot where I was.
So we called 8 times. And
Yeah, I called her 8 times. So you got to call people several times. And then I finally got a hold of her. She told me that she wanted to sell in a few months. She wasn't quite ready. And so this is where, like, I encourage people, you really got to like sharpen sales skills, because the average person would be like, oh, okay, I'll call you back in 4 months. No, I said, well, hey, it sounds like you want to sell. So why don't we meet? Why don't I come by, make you an offer? You don't have to accept it, but at least I know the condition. I can make you an offer, see what we can put together, and then we can work with you. I said, and then we have this line that I learned from the brokerage that I worked with. We would always say, that's exactly why people like you like working with us, because we actually work around your time frame. So if you need 120 days, we can actually do a 120-day escrow so that we can give you the money you want and close. And she's like, oh man, that would be great. So I went over to the house. I was there probably for like an hour. This house was bad. There was like cobwebs everywhere, rat feces in one of the rooms. Yeah. Yeah.
Smell like money.
And by the end of the appointment, I had the offer in my hand, and she's like, so are you going to have me sign that thing? And I was like, yeah. She's like, okay. And then she just signed it. And I didn't even have to close her. She closed herself.
What? Oh, dude. I mean, that house smells like 65 G's to me. So okay. So you went through the house with her and did everything, and you brought the contract and you wrote on there how much you're gonna offer her, or what?
So on the phone, I offered her, I said, we could offer you anywhere between about 220 to 240. But when I got there, I had started doing some research, and I was like, okay, we probably need to be closer to 220. When I got there, I was like, oh God, no, this needs to be 200. I didn't even think that it would sell for that much. So I offered her 200. She's like, that's kind of what I thought you were going to offer me. That number works for me. That's fine. I feel that that's what my house is worth. I said, okay, cool. When we actually sent the house out for dispo, one of my friends that's a flipper, I saw that they had just made like a 30 or 40 grand profit in the same neighborhood. So I was like, well, maybe I could kind of get like same numbers. Maybe I'll make like 30K. Anyways, sent it out. Within like 10 minutes, we had several offers.
Can I interject for 1 minute?
Yeah.
So at this point, he wanted to put it out for so we got it at 200, right? He wanted to put it out for 230. I told him, don't do that. I was like, put it out for 245. If someone, like I'm telling you, it's going to sell. If someone wants it for a little bit less, they'll give you an OBO. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Yep.
So he
Smart.
was like, oh no, that seems like a lot. I was like, trust me, do it. So he sent it out at the 245. Continue then.
Yeah, send it out 245.
No, wait. Okay, so let me ask a quick question. So how much was the rehab?
Rehab's gonna be anywhere between 60 to 80 grand.
60 to 80K. And what's the ARV on it?
When I ran the comps originally, it was like 370, but the neighborhood's like appreciated a lot. So I think that it's probably worth about 420.
Okay, so the ARV is 420.
Yeah, it's about.
Okay, so Joe, can you walk through, because people always ask me this. So Khang, how do I know what to offer? So how do you know to offer 200,000?
I use this formula. I got it from Brent Daniels. He just says times the ARV times 0.66. And for me, for us, that's worked very well. We've done like the minus rehab and minus, that formula too. And what we found, at least here in Southern California, is you're offering people way too little. And it doesn't really work. So we found that the 0.66 works pretty well for us.
Okay. That's the first time I heard of it. So just ARV times 0.66.
Yeah, we kind of have a bit of a margin too, where we kind of go up. So people say that you can go up to, that 80%, right?
Yep.
We personally cannot go up that high, because we've seen when we go up that high, people start getting skittish, right? So where we stay is kind of between that 0.66 to the 0.76 max, but typically we don't even get that high. We can close them at a lower, AR.
So you guys are actually staying between, so people understand, so 66% to 76%
Yeah.
of ARV.
The other thing that we do too is on PropStream, we'll pull like cash buyers in the area and see what cash buyers are paying.
Yeah.
And then we know that, like, say a cash buyer is paying 200 and say we like to make at least 25K, then we will offer them a 175 and we sign it for 200.
I got you. And the thing is, you guys, for those of you who's listening, so a lot of you don't know that prop streams, and I don't talk about this a lot, but you can pull cash buyer on prop streams, and these cash buyer and prop stream that you pull, they are legit cash buyer, because it'll show you that, hey, this is cash transaction. They close with cash. So if you don't know, you need to go and you need to check them out. And if you don't have prop streams, I highly suggest that you should go check them out. My affiliate link is just right in the descriptions. You can sign up, get a 7 days free trial with them. That's where I pull motivated seller leads, right? With all the stress property, that's where I pull my list. That's where we also get our cash buyer list pull as well. Typically, so like you can pull and you can zone into like zip code, and it will show you all the cash that happens within however much you want. Typically, I want to go about 6 months. So after the 7 days free trial, if you don't like them, you can disconnect, but the link is right below for you guys to check them out. But so let me ask you this. So, okay, so the next thing is where did you guys get the cash buyer? Prop streams?
I had been building a cash buyers list for a while, just connecting with people on like Facebook, through like some of the wholesaling groups and flipper groups. And I actually ended up selling the property to like a really big acquisitions company called Wedgwood. So they bought the property from us, and they were like super easy to work with.
So how did you found them in the first place?
So I just sent it out to our cash buyers list. Yeah, through Facebook.
Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace, or what?
Facebook groups, yeah, because like you put deals in there, or you say, hey, I got deals, or I'm trying to build my cash buyers list. You'll have a lot of people contact you from these acquisitions companies. Sometimes they're wholesalers, sometimes they're flippers, and that's how we've met a lot of people that we've worked with.
And Joel and I are in multiple groups on Facebook where we'll post, over. Obviously, you have to be careful. That's something that we've learned over our time. Is like, a lot of people will try to screw your deal up.
Yep.
So you gotta be careful. You got to make sure that you're vetting the people who are commenting and asking for the emails, etc. So we definitely do our background check now before we actually send them over all the information. But it's a great place to find people who are really looking to buy properties very quickly. So.
Dude, that is a really, really good point, man, because on Facebook, there's Facebook group that has hundreds of thousands of people. And let me tell you, not all hundreds of thousands of people are good people, right?
Yeah.
So how do you guys vet them?
Believe it or not, we actually had a deal. I had been working on that deal since I had started with Joel, and we finally got the people under contract. It was actually 8 houses on one lot. Okay. So we got it to where we were essentially, it was going to be sold, and we were going to make 200,000 on that one deal. And we pretty much got screwed that way too, because pretty much a bunch of wholesalers got a hold of it and they sent it out to a bunch of people. And then those buyers directly called our client and pretty much screwed the deal up. But That's why, you know, it's super, super important to make sure that you're vetting your buyers and the people that you're working with in general, because you don't want to get to a point where you're about to make 200,000. We were weeks away. We were
Dang.
close. We were at the finish line, and we've been negotiating with the sellers for what, months. And it was a $200,000 profit margin. You know what I mean? It's not a big, so we were pretty happy about it. And then at the finish line, we kind of got screwed over. But you know, you learn through all these things. You know, it sucks, but you're either gonna let it beat you or you're gonna keep moving on. And we learn from it. And yeah, luckily now we do a lot of, we ask for proof of funds. We ask what LLC they're buying under. We ask for their last project. We make sure to check all that. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things that we go through now. We have actually like a checklist that we go through. And luckily, one of our teammates, EC, he actually is an extremely intelligent human being. He's brought a lot of great ideas to the table. And he's been one of our go-to people when it comes to vetting these things out, because he's an absolute, you know, monster. He'll go in there, he'll ask all the necessary questions, doesn't care how awkward it is, and will get us the answers we need in order to make sure that we're actually getting it to the right people.
Wow. Yeah, dude. So do you get the property under contract? The 200 Gs?
We got it under contract. We had sent out the assignment. I mean, it was all but done. And
so you got under contract with the seller.
Mhm.
You found the buyer.
Yeah.
You found the buyer, sent out the assignment agreement.
What happened was we had sent it to one of the wholesalers that we work with for him to help dispo it, because we didn't have the buyer in our list to purchase the property. Someone that he sent it to was a wholesaler. They sent it to someone, and then it was all over Facebook. So before we even brought the property to actual market to market it, it was already being marketed, and people were actually making jokes and laughing at us in the Facebook groups, like, "Oh, I've seen this deal." It was like the joke of the Southern California
people were adding like anything from like 100 to like 300,000 on top of it. Like, it was crazy. Like, they were trying to daisy chain the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So that's where it started becoming really problematic.
So what happened was the wholesaler that found the buyer, I don't know why, but he like went ghost on the buyer, and he started like trying to work with other people to buy it. So that buyer got really pissed off, and I saw that. I was like, I think this is the buyer. So I went to her directly and I said, "Hey, this is our property. We have it under contract. Do you want it?" Mm-hmm. She said yes. But she ended up calling. So there was two partners that owned the property. One of them was a man, and he was absolutely okay. He knew we were wholesaling it, and he said, "I don't care how much you make, as long as I get what I want." So he was cool with it. But his partner, who is a realtor, and I found that sometimes realtors don't like working with wholesalers.
Yep.
She was one of those. She's like, "Yeah, I don't want to work with wholesalers. I don't want you wholesaling it." I'm like, "But we already have a buyer." I'm not gonna say his name. I almost said his name. Your partner said it was okay, and she's like, "No, I don't care." So
the funny thing with her too is she actually kept trying to bring the price up, and we finally met her where she wanted to be. And I had been we originally, when we first talked to them, we were gonna get the property under contract for I think 1.4. We ended up coming all the way up to 1.8, and we were gonna sell it for 2. So we came up a large time over, you know, when we were talking, and at the time, market.
Okay. For some reason, the internet. Oh man.
Did it freeze?
Yes. Okay. So you guys came from, so you guys came up to 1.8.
Right.
Found a buy for 2.
Right. And pretty much when that had happened at that point, she was like, "Okay, we're good to go. I'll sign off on it." So we got everybody to sign off on it. We got the contract. We got the assignment sent out, everything. And that's when everything kind of went haywire. The buyer, our buyer, went around our back and contacted the sellers directly. Obviously, the lady that didn't want to sell below anything below 1.8, she kind of got angry at that point. She contacted us, said she wanted to cancel. We tried to go back and forth. The other seller, he was like, "No, I still want to make this deal work. Like, I'm gonna try to convince her."
Yeah.
We were going back and forth for another month before we had to actually cancel. But yeah, it is what it is.
Wow. So the buyer went around you guys' back and contact directly with the seller.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And do you know how much that person ended up buying the property for?
I don't. It's in escrow right now. I talked to him the other day. He just said, "Yeah, we're in escrow. We're about to close." Really, really cool guy.
Yeah.
That's like when we were like first getting into wholesaling. He's like an advanced investor, and he would always like give me advice and stuff. Really cool guy, but yeah, I don't know what it ended up selling for.
So he's a cool dude, but he went around you guys' back.
No, that was
the
a
seller.
one of the sellers.
Yeah.
The seller.
Oh, wait. Oh, the seller was cool,
Yeah,
but the buyer.
the buyer.
Right. So one of the two sellers was really cool. The other one was the problematic one.
Right.
When the buyers went around our back, they actually contacted her instead of him, which sucks because if they would have talked to him, it would have been fine.
Right.
They ended up talking to her, and she's the one that flipped out and kind of went haywire, and then they eventually just canceled the deal.
So hold on. Okay. So when you guys, how long, so you guys didn't put like, so you guys didn't cloud the title or anything like that?
No.
No.
Okay. So for those of you who's watching, so what you can do, if you find out that the buyer's going behind your back, what you can do is you can cloud the title. So basically, since you already have a contract with the seller first, who like this is typically that you want to do when things like this happen. So it doesn't matter, like anyone goes behind your back. If the seller's trying to sell behind your back, the buyer's trying to go behind your back, you already cloud the title. So whoever they sold to you, they cannot like that. The title cannot be clear unless the issue with you have been resolved, which means they need to pay you for whatever it is for them to close on it.
Oh wow.
So if it's still in escrow, I would contact an attorney, and it doesn't cost much, bro. Probably a few $100 or something. I would contact an attorney and I would cloud the title.
Wow.
See if you can do that. So show them the contract that you have, and if you have an assignment signed with the buyer, did the buyer sign an assignment?
The buyer did sign an assignment. Yeah.
The buyer did sign.
Didn't they at the very end, right? Right
I
before.
don't know. Did they?
Yeah, they did, and then we had canceled it because then there was those other buyers that tried to come in last minute, and that didn't work out.
Yeah.
Either. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's
Dude.
been a while.
So this is a $200,000 deal, man. So if I were you, what I would do is I would contact the attorney and then kind of explain. And if it's something that you guys want to go through, maybe I wouldn't spend so much time on it just because, but I would just contact an attorney and I would say, hey, here's the situation. I got the purchase and sale contract between the seller and I can send it into you. They went behind my back and try to sell the property to somebody else, blah, blah, blah. And just explain it and see if the attorney can still cloud the title for you. My whole thing is I'm afraid that the contract has expired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the attorney can look at the purchase and sell date that the seller signed the contract with you, and they can look at the date that the seller signed the contract with the buyer. And if that was still within the time limit that they have a contract with you, bro, I'm pretty sure I've cloud title before, but I've never, so I know that you can probably get it in there before it closed. So what I'm trying to say is that, so you have a signed contract with the seller for X amount of day.
Yeah.
And within those time period, if the seller or the seller sell the property to someone else, but if it's within your time period, that is like a no-no.
Yeah. Okay.
So if the buyer signs a contract with the seller within the time period that they got under contract with you first, I would contact an attorney, dude. I would cloud the title, and they cannot close without you. And they would have to call you, like they would have to beg you, dude, like to release that. And then just tell them, dude, hey, just pay me X amount, just pay me 100 G's or whatever amount that you guys can negotiate on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I were you, man, that's a big amount plus the amount of work that you have already put into it, and it's not your guys' fault. And I feel like this is because there's time where I wouldn't do it just because the seller is like, hey, I got some family, so that's because there's time where you don't want to cloud the title because seller has a legit reason why they don't want to move forward to selling the property, right? But in this case, dude, that's what I would do if I were you. And it gonna cost you a few $100, and you can get this all done.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
We actually might have to do that. That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
So, I mean, if I were you after this, you should contact an attorney and you should do that.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Yep. There you go. I hope this interview, dude, just make you guys makes you guys some money back.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
No, dude, I have people happen to multiple times. They cannot sell the property unless you release it. Period. Like it cannot close because you legitimately had a contract with the seller. So I'm sure that you get an attorney to do this, you guys will get some money out of this, man.
I like
Awesome.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So anyways, I mean, I want to let you guys go so you guys can jump on into it. So let's wrap this up. So how can people connect with you guys, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram or TikTok at Joel's Got the Keys. And yeah.
Yeah, and then you can find me on Instagram as well at Matta Effect, MATTA Effect. And then
And this deal is out of where? California?
Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody has a good attorney that they've worked with, reach out to my boys, man. Connect them with, and then let's get this done, man.
Yeah,
Let's
appreciate
go.
it, man.
Let's go get
It's
this
great
money.
Let's go get this mode. Okay, so one last to wrap it up, man. Tips, advice for people that are new into the game. What are some tips, some feedback that you guys can give them?
I mean, not first and foremost, I would say educate yourself. You know, like don't be afraid. You spoke about it in the beginning. It's crazy to think that you are not going to spend any money or if you're spending money at all on a guru or whatever to get some type of mentorship. And you're thinking like, oh, this is going to be like a bad investment. I can just figure it out myself. You probably could figure it out yourself over a long period of time, spend a lot of money, make a lot of mistakes in other ways, and that's going to be problematic.
Yeah.
Find someone who can really show you the ropes and don't be afraid to pay a little bit up for it. You're investing in yourself. You know, at the end of the day, you're either going to put the time in, the money in right now, or you're going to put a lot of time and a lot of money in later and lose a lot of deals. Because if we would have known about, let's say, the clouding, we probably could have made some money on that deal early on and we didn't. So there's a lot of ways you can really put yourself in good positions. Don't be afraid to spend the money, spend the time to do so early on because it'll pay large dividends ahead.
Yeah. And I would say, I think that was really good. I would
Yeah,
say for me,
that's really good.
you really have to want to succeed. Failure cannot be an option for you. We've gone through many ups and downs. Like I was talking about this the other day on another interview that I did. I literally took my life savings to build this business and figure out how to wholesale. Like I ran out of money. We were 1 week away from going out of business. I had to borrow money from my son's mother to keep the business afloat. And right after we had the best month. We made $145,000 in 1 month. And I'm telling you, you have to be obsessed with succeeding. And there can be no room in your mind for failure. And you got to do things every single day to strengthen your mind. I meditate every day. I visualize what I want in my mind. And it just literally starts manifesting if you go out there and you put in the work.
Dude, you guys just gave two best bum ass advice tips right there, man. The only one thing I want to add in here is Eric Thomas. I don't know if you guys listen to Eric Thomas. E.T., the preacher. And this is what he said. And literally, he said that you must want success as bad as you want to breathe. It's like when you take your head and you put and it's like someone pushed you down the water. Like all you think about is oxygen. I got to get the air. You right? That's all you think about. Success is exactly the same. So if you don't know how success is, just go ahead and have someone push you like you're drowning.
Yeah.
And all you think about is, I got to get air. I got to get air. That's exactly what you got to think about success. And if you can't, like, if that's not it, I promise you, that's why only 3%, 1% people succeed in any types of business. I don't care if it's wholesaling, drop shipping, Amazon, day trading, anything. That's why. It's not an easy game.
Not at all.
Right? But the thing is, whoever made it, they will live the life of freedom. Like you don't have to worry about money anymore.
Right.
I mean, the trade-off is so much worth it. But but every single one has to go through that. All right. And it's to test you. Do you have what it takes or do you don't? That's it. Anyways, you guys, everyone that's watching, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this interview will add some value to you. If it does, show your boy King Khang some love. Boom, smash that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the Wholesale to Million family. Be sure to boom, smash that subscribe button. Make sure you turn on the bell notification. So when I upload a new video or when I go live, you guys get notified. But Joe, you guys should go and do that. And I promise you, if they haven't closed, you will get a phone call from the buyer and they will bag you. So what I would do is after the attorney has clouded the title, has put everything in, they tell you everything good, check with the title company, everything is good. I would quickly shoot that buyer a text and said, this is what we did. We cloud the title. You won't be able to close on it. So you either pay us for what we worth, right? You either pay us for what the fee is, or good luck with closing on it. And I promise you, they will not be able to close on it. Okay. So I would go do that ASAP and they would bag you, dude. Like the buyer would bag you. Okay. So be ready.
We're excited.
I know you do. Let's go get this money.
Money!
Later, you guys. Good luck, man.
Thank you.